President Tinubu elevates General Oluyede as he changes service chiefs. We support CBN's fiscal reforms, Nigeria Governors Forum tells the federal government.
Governors commended the central bank's coordinated approach.
Also on the news, 4 million low-income women to benefit from Nigeria for Women's Scale-Up projects.
The Nigerian for Women Scale-Up is reshaping local economies, reducing household vulnerabilities, and positioning women as the true drivers of Nigeria's inclusive growth.
Good evening, I'm Lami Ali, and this is the NTA Network News live from Abuja. You're welcome. Tonight, with the stories making headlines across the nation, from Lagos, Hingino John Adams captures the beat of the nation's economic center. And in business, Benny Adams brings you the latest on markets, investments, and the big money moves shaping our economy. So, Benny, what's new in business?
Well, we'll be giving you cheering news that Nigeria is now off financial action, task force grey list, which means increased investor confidence.
And in the sports corner, Bade Adele has the stories making waves in the world of sports. Bade.
Well, Nigeria's Super Falcons are one step away from qualifying for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. We'll tell you when we get to sports.
You can join us on nta.ng/live. NTA is also on X as NTA News Now. And you can also follow us across other social media platforms. Other handles are displayed on the screen right here on the NTA Network News. Now, let's begin with appointments. In a decisive move to tackle Nigeria's persistent security challenge, President Bola Tinubu has carried out a major shakeup in the nation's military leadership, replacing all the service chiefs and the Chief of Defense Staff. The sweeping changes, which also include new appointments for the Army, Navy and Air Force, and the Chief of Defense Intelligence, signals the President's resolve to inject fresh strategy and renewed vigor into the fight against terrorism, banditry and other security threats confronting the country. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello takes a look at the new faces at the helm of the armed forces and their profile.
The new command team is now at the helm of Nigeria's armed forces. We profile the men appointed to lead the nation's military campaigns. First, the new Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, a seasoned infantry commander, was commissioned in 1992. His extensive career includes frontline command in Operation Hadinkai in the Northeast and international missions in Liberia and Bakassi. And in a related move, Major General Waid Shuaibu, an armored corps specialist, has been appointed as the new Chief of Army Staff. He is credited with major gains against terrorist groups in the Northeast, known for his disciplined leadership and focus on troop morale. Protecting the nation's vital economic interest at sea is the new Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas. He moves up from leading the Central Naval Command, where he oversaw a significant crackdown on illegal oil bunkering, intercepting hundreds of thousands of barrels of stolen crude. In the air, the new Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, he is one of the most experienced pilots in the force with over 4,300 flying hours. His most recent role was shaping the next generation of officers as Deputy Commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Emmanuel Udiandeye, retains his position. The nation now looks to this new team to bring their vast operational experience to bear on Nigeria's complex security challenges. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Japan's first female Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, praising her decades-long contributions to her political party and governance. He looks forward to working with her, strengthening Nigeria-Japan relations and exploring areas of mutual benefit. President Tinubu shows Nigeria's continued goodwill and support for Japan, citing their deep, productive and strategic relationship. The Nigeria Governors Forum says the federal government's fiscal reforms currently being implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria aligns with the national development priorities. This and other top national issues shaping the direction of governance in Nigeria formed the communique drafted as the end of its 6th meeting held in Abuja. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga brings us the details.
The arrival of governors across 36 states of the Federation signals the commencement of a long day, and as their number reaches climax, they all return to a closed-door session which endures for several hours. After an exhaustive session with the Deputy Governor of the Apex Bank on economic policy, Dr. Mohammed Sani Abdullahi, federal government stabilization effort to restore price stability receives governor's nod.
It's meant to curb inflation, enhance liquidity management, and consolidate macroeconomic stability. Governors commended the central bank's coordinated approach.
Director General State Security Services Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi made a presentation on emerging security threats and intelligent-led strategy to strengthen subnational coordination.
Governors expressed appreciation to the DSS for its proactive engagement and reiterated their commitments to deepen intelligence sharing and collaboration with the federal security agencies.
The forum also notes that the reserved seat for Women Bill HP 1349 will be voted between November 4 and 6, 2025. The bill, which seeks to amend the 1999 Constitution, will create special constituencies exclusively for women to contest. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu welcomes Nigeria's removal from the Financial Action Task Force FATF grey list, describing it as a major milestone in the nation's journey towards economic reform, institutional integrity, and global credibility. The FATF, the global body that sets standards against money laundering and terrorist financing, announced Nigeria's delisting at its plenary in Paris. President Tinubu said the achievement follows over 2 years of sustained reforms and strong inter-agency collaboration to strengthen the country's financial system. He commended the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, and its director, Hafsat Abubakar Bakari, for leading the process and appreciated support from key government agencies and institutional partners. According to the president, this is not just a technical accomplishment, but a strategic victory and a renewed vote of confidence in Nigeria's financial governance. Now, about 4 million low-income women across the 36 states of the Federation have been targeted for empowerment in the expanded phase of the Nigeria for Women Scale-Up project. Minister of Women Affairs revealed this as the inauguration of the Federal Steering Committee to build on the successes of the pilot phase of the project for another 5 years. Ngozi Technique has more on this.
With the committee constituted, the tasks before them, as outlined by the Women Affairs Minister, who chairs the Nigeria for Women Program Scale-Up project, include creating capital for women at the grassroots, training and monitoring responses of beneficiaries. The steering committee also has the mandate to ensure the full coverage of women economic empowerment in the 36 states and FCT for the next 5 years.
By replacing fragmented interventions with a systematic model, the Nigerian for Women Scale-Up is reshaping local economies, reducing household vulnerabilities, and positioning women as the true drivers of Nigeria's inclusive growth, resilience, and long-term stability.
Through this Scale-Up program, we are expanding the program to reach the program's reach, deepening the impact, and ensuring that no woman is left behind in our development agenda.
The Nigeria for Women program, I think, remains a priority for the World Bank, as it is a priority for the government of Nigeria.
It was also an avenue for the Women Affairs Minister to crisscross ideas and cement relationship with World Bank and others to ensure success of the Women Empowerment Project. In Abuja, Ngozi Technique, NTA News.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pati, has reiterated President Tinubu's commitment to transforming Nigeria's health and social landscape, emphasizing that the administration is determined to expand the reach and quality of healthcare services nationwide. This was at the unveiling, handover and signing of the Memorandum of Understanding transferring the University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital to become the new Federal University Teaching Hospital, Akure, Ondo State. The ceremony held in Akure, the Ondo State capital, marks a significant milestone in the federal government's efforts to strengthen healthcare delivery and expand tertiary health services across Nigeria. Professor Pati, who represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, expressed deep appreciation to the Ondo State government and traditional institutions for the seamless collaboration in facilitating the transition, commending Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and his team for their commitment and support, describing the partnership as a model of effective federal-state cooperation in advancing national health objectives.
We're expanding the footprint of Nigerian health sector in collaboration with state governments. So if we join hands as Nigerians and support the president's effort, I believe over time we'll see the health system that we desire.
Akure is supposed to be about 4 local governments, there were only 1. No teaching hospital. Nothing. But Baba Tinubu said it's going to happen on his own time, and he made it happen.
United Nations 80th anniversary has been commemorated in Maiduguri with a renewed call for partnership and resilience in addressing humanitarian challenges, particularly in Nigeria's northeast region. Pauline Kujivana reports.
The event, which featured a panel discussion on the theme Building Our Future Together, from crisis to resilience in northeast Nigeria, brought together stakeholders from government, academia, civil society, and the international community to chart a path towards sustainable peace and inclusive growth. Speaking virtually, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reaffirmed commitment to strengthening interventions and empowering local NGOs to respond more effectively
to the challenges that this region is enduring, trying to address and support the root causes and promote solutions.
To work on this reform of UN to make it a success and improve the way UN approaches, UN finance, UN support, and UN assist all over the world.
Representing Borno State Governor, Secretary to the State Government, Bukar Tijani, highlighted Nigeria's enduring partnership with the UN since 1960.
It is the wish and also resolve and focus of His Excellency that we continue to partner even more strongly with the UN.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, Professor Lamine Mele, and a representative of the civil society organizations, Abubakar Suleiman, both commended the UN's significant role in supporting humanitarian response across Borno State and the wider Northeast. This commemoration symbolizes a renewed commitment, hope, and collective resolve to strengthen collaboration between the United Nations, government, and local actors in building a peaceful and resilient future for all. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
We pause now for some messages. The news continues after. Do stay with the NTA. You're welcome back. A skills-based revolution is unfolding in Nigeria with over 250,000 young Nigerians currently undergoing training across 2,600 technical and vocational education and training centers nationwide. So the Minister of Education went on a fact-finding mission to gauge how the initiative is faring. Zenre Dingmum was part of the team.
The initiative, part of the federal government's TVET program, aims to empower youth and drive economic growth through practical, hands-on learning, reflecting the administration's belief that certificates alone are not enough. The program blends 20% theory with 80% practical experience to produce industry-ready graduates.
With the training, I was able to know more about pottering, and I can able to start something for myself.
I want to go deeper inside this training so that I could be able to impart on others.
We want them to be employer of labor. And the way we've designed it, we're not just going to train them alone, skill them up alone. We're giving them starter pack. And at the end of this all, we're also going to give them grant to help them.
Amid the successes recorded in the training program, the Ministry of Education also met with the Nigerian Education Group, calling for a united approach to tackle the long-standing challenges in the sector. He acknowledged the valuable support of international development partners, but stresses that lasting solutions must come from within, rooted in local realities and designed to sustainably address Nigeria's unique educational needs.
Between what we're pulling from BESDA, AF, GP system strengthening grant, system capacity grant, and also UBER budget.
Dr. Lausa again reaffirms the present administration's commitment to a robust education system in Nigeria. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmon, NTA News.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Health, Office of the Vice President, Uju Rochas Amka, has joined Governor Umar Namadi in the inauguration of the Jigawa State Nutrition Council in Dutse under the Nutrition 774 initiative aimed at tackling malnutrition, one of the leading causes of childhood deaths. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
Presidential aide noted that malnutrition accounts for about 45% of childhood deaths nationwide, stressing the need to strengthen nutrition structures down to the local government levels. The Nutrition 774 initiative focuses on improving health, food systems and access to clean water, among others, with strong collaboration from development partners and civil society groups. Governor Umar Namadi disclosed that Jigawa State allocates about ₹500 million annually for nutrition intervention, adding that over 300 children have been successfully treated, while 1.3 million residents have benefited from the program.
When a child is malnourished, when a family is malnourished, the entire system focuses on what next to eat rather than development of our dear nation. This is why malnutrition is not just a problem of individuals, it's a national problem that directly affects our manpower and ultimately our nation's economic growth.
You must move down to the grassroots, talk to the mothers, let them understand what they need to do, and then also support them. And that is the essence of establishing the Maseki in the first instance.
The newly inaugurated council, chaired by the governor himself, comprises key ministries and agencies to ensure effective coordination and delivery of nutrition services across the state. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And we go to Borno, where the state governor, Babagana Umar Zulum, has called for a comprehensive review of the nation's air safety and defense mechanisms. The governor made the call in Mafa town following a terror attack on Mafa and Dikwa communities, during which terrorists reportedly used drones to attack military formations.
A walk through Mafa town revealed the devastation caused by Boko Haram insurgents during the midnight attack. The attackers reportedly set ablaze dozens of commercial trucks and other vehicles conveying goods worth millions of naira, as well as a military formation within the township. They were said to have used armed drones and rocket-propelled grenades in the assault. A similar pattern of attack was recorded in Dikwa town, as confirmed by a press statement issued. Governor Zulum, who visited Mafa and Dikwa to commiserate with the victims and boost public confidence, held closed-door meetings with military officers in the affected communities. Over 50 terrorists were reportedly neutralized in the encounter. Briefing newsmen after spending the night in Mapa, Governor Zulum expressed grave concern over the emergence of the new threat.
This is frightening. In Dikwa, I was told drones were used. The proliferation of drones in the hands of the non-state actors is a matter of great concern to all of us. I'm saying this one not to the people of Borno State, but to the entire country, that let's do something in order to stop proliferation of drones.
While commending the Nigerian Armed Forces for their gallantry, the governor urged members of the public to cooperate with security agencies by providing credible information. Normalcy has since been restored to both Mafa and Dikwa, with residents going about their daily activities. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Kano State government will continue to maintain high engineering standards in all infrastructure projects. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf gave the assurance when he received members of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers who were in Kano for their annual meeting. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
From the urban renewal program aimed at upgrading metropolitan roads, construction of bridges, and expanding major arterial routes, Kano State Government has been executing various infrastructural development projects across both urban and rural communities. This was among the reasons the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineering chose Kano as the host city for its national meeting. In appreciation and as part of the civil engineering fraternity, the leadership of the institution paid a courtesy visit to Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf at the end of their meeting.
There is a need for us to give you an understanding.
President of the institution and other stakeholders commended the governor for his achievements within a short period and his commitment to upholding professional standards in project execution. For this, he was honored as a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineering.
Continue to collaborate with you in the development of not only our state, but of the entire nation.
While appreciating the civil engineers for the acknowledgement and choice of Kano for the meeting, Governor Yusuf assured that quality assurance is not negotiable under his administration. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Bar Association, Gombe State Chapter, is confident that the steps taken by the state government to improve the welfare of judicial officers with provision of conducive work environment would facilitate speedy dispensation of justice. NBA Chairman, Gombe State Chapter, Barrister Al-Hassan Muazu, stated this after an inspection of the two key judicial projects in the state. Emmanuel Akila reports.
In company of state officials in the Temple of Justice, the NBA chairman is received at the site where the project for the construction of the Gombe State High Court complex has reached appreciable level of completion.
This project contractually is 116 weeks, and that corresponds to January of 2027. In terms of percentage, we have we are about 25% completion.
Next is the Gombe State Sharia Court of Appeal building. Looking at the structure and the furnishing, the project appears completed.
The account section, the administrative section, also the process and litigation, which is the engine room, they are all there.
If a common man feels at home when approaching this court, you understand that he will find justice at the end of the day, no matter the kind of personality he's facing in his trial, whether he's a governor or he's a senator, definitely will have a kind of improvement in peace and tranquility in our dear state. And at the end of the day, Gombe State will be peaceful.
Besides having the required number of courtrooms, the library, and staff offices, the Chief Registrar confirmed the recruitment of the needed judicial officers for the takeoff of proceedings at the new complex of the Sharia Court of Appeal. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The preparedness of the election umpire and the participatory obligations of the citizens all make up for a credible, transparent and acceptable election. Dora Engwe source reactions of the electorate as the November 8th Anambra governorship election draws near.
Recurrence of late arrival of electoral materials, vote buying, snatching and stuffing of ballot boxes, as well as voter apathy, are among the various elements that are said to be constraints to credible elections in Nigeria. Respondents who highlighted these issues insist that the excuses of the electoral umpire will not surface in Anambra election, since it is an off-cycle election.
There will not be problem of network issue from beavers.
The political class who exploit the situation for their own selfish gains. They are the people that make sure the INEC is compromised.
With the availability of good link roads in Anambra State, stakeholders maintained that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has the willpower to redeem its image in this off-cycle Anambra election.
We must continue to educate our people everywhere that not to, because of 20,000 naira or 10,000 naira, then you mortgage your own future and the future of your children.
They, however, called for sensitization of the electorate to vote their conscience and desist from selling of votes. In Onitsha, Dora Enwe, NTA News.
And network news continues in Lagos with Hingino as our guide. Hello, Hingino.
House of
Other stakeholders is prioritizing eco-friendly practices and sustainable infrastructure to build a resilient environment and secure the future of its citizens. This commitment was reiterated at a press conference for the Lagos International Climate Change Summit 2025, highlighting the state's dedication to working with nature and promoting sustainable development. Adejoke Odeka completes the report.
Big cities worldwide face climate and environmental challenges, but Lagos, being one of the most climate vulnerable states, is not resting on its oars. Ahead of the Lagos International Climate Change Summit 2025, the city is proactively turning its challenges into vision, opportunities, and results, showcasing its commitment to environmental sustainability.
This year's summit will spotlight the blue economy, harnessing ocean and waterways for sustainable growth, green finance, mobilizing capital for renewable energy, waste recycling, and nature-based infrastructure.
We encourage people to take advantage of what Lagos State have initiated. Recently, we have the E1 boat race, and that has gone global in the sense that it launches Lagos in the map of coastal tourism.
Speaking on the impact of the Great Wall of Lagos, a vital coastal protection initiative, partners emphasized that safeguarding the artificial island and Victoria Island from coastal erosion and ocean surges requires collective efforts.
The whole essence is converting our weakness to strength, our ashes to beauty in the environmental space.
Lagos State continued effort to address climate change, stakeholders say, demonstrates her commitment to ensuring environmental sustainability and resilience, protecting its coastline and citizens. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
Building trust in the public in an era of cynical public scrutiny using ethics of public relations remains key in reshaping government reputation at all levels, at the national and sub-national levels. This is the submission of public relations experts, policymakers, and media heads at a roundtable on reshaping reputation of governance through ethics of public relations. Lanre Bele has details.
In sustaining the public relations tradition, trust is an asset that cannot be discarded. This forum gathered media moguls, top government officials, and seasoned PR colleagues in the private sector to provide detailed complexities of modern public relations, offer practical advice, and thought-provoking discussions in polishing image of governance.
It's a call for action for each and every one of us to collectively take responsibility to change the narrative about our country. This is a dear country that God has endowed with so many things.
Keynote speaker and broadcast journalist John Momo gave proceedings of the discourse where he emphasized that public relations must first build trust that will invariably resonate with the people.
Let us pledge that in every statement we draft, every message we shape, and every story we tell, truth will lead, ethics will anchor, and trust will follow.
Other guests corroborated same in their speech and panel discussions.
Reputation is wired in a texture that is built on trust.
Pass your information across and be consistent with it, and then also relaying information in a timely manner.
Fidelity to accountability, fidelity to transparency will begin to build trust gradually.
It is the 25th edition of NECHI Public Relations Roundtable that seeks to promote dialogue, learning, advocacy, professionalism, and ethics. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
That's it from here. Benny Adams is standing by with business news after the break.
House of Thanks for staying tuned. It's time to talk business, and we'll start by telling you that ahead of meeting between the two global economic titans, the United States of America and China, the World Trade Organization's Director General, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has warned against continued escalation of trade tensions as the previous trade truce between the U.S. and China nears expiration. The October 30 meeting, scheduled for the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea, is expected to agree on deals that will stop ongoing global GDP loss, contraction of trade, among other challenges.
That any kind of decoupling that divides the world into two trading blocs is going to result in significant global GDP losses in the longer term, okay? Up to 7% global GDP losses and double-digit welfare losses for developing countries. So it's not only the big powers or the rich countries that will lose. The poorer countries will lose even more.
We'll make a deal on, I think, everything. I think we're going to make a deal on soybeans and the farmers. I think we're going to make a deal on maybe even nuclear. He would now like to, I'm not sure that he did at the beginning. He would now like to see that war end.
Well, a deal there will be beneficial to all. Now, talking about the markets in Nigeria, South Africa, as well as Tunisia, it's been a week of bullish wins as the Nigerian equities market closed the week extending its gains across 5 trading sessions as optimistic investors continued to buy. Investors gained 736.48 billion naira as market capitalization rose to 89.80 trillion naira. Dangote Cement, MTN Nigeria, and Guarantee Trust Holding Company are top stocks to look out for. And for the South Africa JSE Top 40, it was a slip at the finish as the market experienced a decline of 0.22%. For the Tunisian Tune Index, is holding steady with a 0.58% at the end of week's transaction. That is it on business for the week ended. Lami, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Benny. Former First Lady Dame Patience Johnson has urged contestants of the 2025 Miss and Mr. Africa Tourism representing their various countries across Africa to use their positions to promote peace and harmony, receiving a delegation of the organizers of the program. Dame Johnson also urged them to be good ambassadors who project Africa's image to the world by promoting gender-based issues, women and youth empowerment, and Child Rights Act, encouraging them on peace-building initiatives that will enable tourism to grow. Dame Patience Johnson also urged them to support pet projects of the First Ladies of their different countries while they set their eyes on becoming successful.
Which is in Plateau States. I know most of you all are champions for it. So I urge you to serve as role models. Pay serious attention to health sector, especially the youths, where we encourage those ones with heart problems to come.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated elder statesman, businessman and philanthropist Chief Adebutu Adebukonola Kensington on his 90th birthday. The president described Chief Adebutu as a national icon whose life of hard work, integrity and generosity continues to inspire Nigerians and beyond. He commends Chief Adebutu's pioneering role in business, especially in the gaming industry, which has created jobs and opportunities for many, as well as his philanthropy through the Kensington Adebukonola Adebutu Foundation, which has supported education, youth development, and community welfare. President Tinubu noted that Chief Adebutu's humility, compassion, and service to humanity have earned him respect across the country. Time to take another break. Do stay. As part of efforts to bring to an end the Russian-Ukraine war, fresh U.S. sanction has come down heavily on Russia, and as former South African President Jacob Zuma has been ordered by a court to repay legal fees paid for his legal battles with state funds. Here is Kulu Mohammed with details on these and other stories on Global Update.
President Vladimir Putin calls latest U.S. sanctions on Russia's two biggest oil producers an unfriendly act, which is damaging Russian-American relations. He spoke to the press after attending a meeting of the Russian Geographical Society in Moscow. Putin adds that it will be impossible to replace all of Russian oil on the global market. Jacob Zuma, whose presidency was marred by numerous corruption allegations before being forced out of office in 2018, has been given 60 days to make the repayment. If Zuma fails to repay the sum within 2 months' deadline, authorities may freeze his presidential pension. In other news, the M23 rebel group in the Democratic Republic of the Congo pushed back an accusation that the group stole millions of dollars in gold from a mine located in an area controlled by its fighters. Twangiza, a mining company in South Kivu, said the group looted more than 500 kilos of gold from its concession in the province. The company accused the group of employing Rwandan geologists to locate the mineral. Vonel Nanga denied the accusation, saying the mine in question was operated by artisanal workers and not an industrial operator. Kulu Mohammed, NT.
Let's now join Badi in the sports corner.
All right, many thanks, Lami. Let's begin with handball, as the Secretary General, Commonwealth Handball Association, Seydou Jibril, has expressed confidence that the new board of the Handball Federation of Nigeria will be player-driven, as the development of the sport in Nigeria remains top on the agenda. Seydou, a presidential candidate in Saturday's elective Congress, joined other candidates to present their manifestos to the Electoral Committee. He commended the National Sports Commission for ensuring decorum in the build-up to the polls scheduled for Saturday.
The caliber of people I've seen as a representative of the board are people of great minds, and I'm very sure handball will grow positively. And with that, it will give us a room that our programs and goals will be easily be achieved.
Team FCT have emerged winners in the male and female categories of the maiden edition of the Nigeria School Volleyball Championship in Abuja. About 17 male and female teams from 10 states competed for top honors over 5 days at the indoor sports hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. FCT Team 1 overcame Kaduna in the boys' final, with FCT Team 2 picking bronze, while FCT Team 1 defeated FCT Team 2 in the girls' final, with Bayelsa finishing third.
As a result of hard work and teamwork and also good coaching.
All these children, wonderful. And I want to tell you that we've just agreed that next year there will be under 12, under 15, under 17.
I'm very excited to see the quality of play from our athletes, from our school children. And we even have kids that are as young as 12,
It's football now, as the Super Falcons of Nigeria made a confident start to their final round of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers with a 2-0 win over Benin Republic's Amazons on Friday evening in Lomé. Chiwendu Uyezuo opened the scoring early in the game, while Esther Okoronko then doubled Nigeria's lead before halftime to put the Super Falcons firmly in control of the tie ahead of the second leg in Abeokuta next Tuesday. And to the league now, where Katsina United earlier this evening recorded a slim 1-0 win over Academy Warriors of Maiduguri in the opening match, the 10th game of the Nigeria Premier Football League. 7 more matches are scheduled for Saturday and Sunday as teams aspire to lay an early season marker. In England, Leeds United piled more misery on struggling West Ham United in the Premier League with another defeat in the offing in their Week 9 encounter. On Saturday, Chelsea are at home to Sunderland in a match that will be live on NTA, with Manchester United facing Brighton, as Liverpool will be hoping to bounce back when they play away at Brentford. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Lami.
Thank you, Buddy. And sports news brings us to the end of the network news for tonight. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a wonderful weekend. I'm Lami Ali.